when we discuss creationism versus evolution?
Well, it's hard if you're a scientist, if you're somebody that's well educated and knows about evolution and has followed archaeological digs and findings. It's very convincing that we've been around for billions of years. The Earth. How many billions of years is it? I forget.
I don't know, but one thing that I'll let him say it for himself when he comes on. But one thing that Chad happened to say when we were talking to him this week, and he mentioned it last Friday, but we did speak with him on Wednesday. Even if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, who was it who started the Big Bang? It had to come from someplace. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, Chad is, saying that God provided the Big Bang that started the Earth on its existence, which obviously would make the Earth much more than 6,000 years old.
But we're not sure if that's just one theory or that's his feelings.
Well,
we'll find out later. But let's talk about what
we all have feelings, fact or fiction. We don't know. I mean, some things, and this is the other thing that we were discussing. Some things you take on faith. I wasn't there. Felix wasn't there.
What do you mean?
The Rev. The Big Bang.
Oh.
We weren't there when it started.
That's true.
So. It's the same thing with the existence of a supreme being. Okay, why is it that I believe? Why is it that you believe, Felix? Well, we believe, or at least I believe, because I was brought up in a household, in a Jewish household, where, went to synagogue on Saturday, and we observed the holidays. And when we talk about God, we talk about him or her as existing. Okay, not just the figment of our imagination. That's where some people differ,
that's faith, Mark. You have to have faith.
Well, that's it, Chad and I were discussing that.
Oh, stop with Chad. We'll discuss what he's discussing when he gets on the show.
Well, you and I were discussing it too. I mean, I'm just giving him an introduction,
If he doesn't call, then you're going to be very disappointed.
No, maybe they'll tune in next week, and he'll,
I'm sure
back
he'll be
by
on.
Popular demand.
I'm sure he'll be on, but let him say what he thinks, and let us express our feelings.
I speak for nobody but myself, and you.
Well, you've been speaking for Chad, too.
And you.
You've been speaking for Chad, and let him do his own thing. Otherwise, it'll just be a repetition of what you say.
Isn't this my show? Isn't this the Dr. Mark show with the Rev?
Yeah, but anyway, listen, we have a caller. I believe it's Chad, if I'm not wrong, 535.
I mean, if you're not right.
Huh?
Yeah. Right.
Am I right? Is this Chad?
Hey, guys, it's Chad.
Hey, how are you? This is Felix.
Good.
And Felix was chastising me for introducing you or talking about you before you had the chance to even come on the show.
Felix, come on now. That wasn't nice.
Well, he's giving away all your thoughts, and then you have no... Then what do by the time you say it, they're going to be saying, oh, we've heard all this before. Why is he just repeating everything?
Well, we rehearsed it this way. That's why,
Rehearse? We've never rehearsed
this is
a dollar thing.
Totally unscripted, folks. Totally unscripted.
Hey, guys, just give me you guys can continue talking. I'm just going to get settled here in my office while we get started.
You go right ahead. It'll give me a chance to talk more about you.
You can mute the phone, or I
can
mute
you. Yeah, go ahead. Introduce me.
What? Excuse me?
He said we should introduce him. I think we'll leave that up to you.
Well,
because nobody can introduce you better than you can introduce yourself.
Well, we've been talking for quite a while now, me and you, and we've been having a good time on the phone. I've learned that these guys are older, so old that the automobile was first invented. They had to walk everywhere and collect their groceries by horse and buggy. Am I correct, guys?
Right, and we delivered the milk with a horse and cart, yes. We were consultants to Henry Ford when it came to making the Model T.
Yeah, we showed the Wright brothers how to do it right.
In fact, Felix was the one who told Henry that he was all wrong because he had square tires instead of round ones, and Henry was wondering why the car wouldn't go anywhere because the tires couldn't turn.
You could invent the wheel for him.
That's right. He invented the wheel.
You guys are brilliant. I'm glad that I'm talking to you. You guys are like legendary.
In our own minds, anyway.
I have to tell you, I think we're all good for each other's egos.
Anyway, so Chad, I mean, what would you like to introduce yourself as?
Well, I'll give you guys a quick snapshot. I don't know how many people are listening. Maybe some of my friends are, but your audiences, I'm not sure if are, if you guys are actually, what am I trying to say? Are Jewish like you folks? But nonetheless, we have
a very mixed audience.
Right, we have a mixed bag.
Very mixed audience. Okay. Well, whether you're spiritual or non-spiritual, I'm a born-again Christian. I really am just a slave to Christ. I love Him to the utmost, where I want to give Him my whole life. I dedicate most of my time in ministry talking to people just like Felix and Mark about Jesus. And but I do it in an apologetic way. And that word apologetic, and I'm sure some folks have heard that word before, the staple verse for that in the Bible is 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15, where it says to give an answer and always be ready to give an answer for the folks for the people who ask for the hope that lies in you. And so my ministry is mostly deals with evangelism and apologetics. The reason I do it is because, again, I love people and I love God. And I don't want to do anything else but to give people truth. So truth is extremely important to me. It's important to a lot of people. But what we're going to find on today's show is how we justify truth. In fact, if anybody was on the show last time and listened to me talk to these guys, these clowns.
We take that as a compliment.
That's a compliment.
Yes, good. You probably remember the last question I asked them to think about, which was, what if you believe in anything at all, what do you think makes it true? In other words, what makes the product of our faith true? You know, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Catholic, Christian, Jewish, whether you're Jewish, whether you're somebody maybe as a multi-spiritist, maybe you're somebody like a Buddhist or a Hindu and believe in multiple gods. What do you think makes that true? And maybe some of you can call in today and we can get challenged together as we dive into those various topics. But these guys are very lovely. We've had very nice discussions. We've laughed. I wanted to cry when I found out how old they were. They didn't want to cry. I felt like crying because I felt bad how old they are.
Are you insinuating that the best part of our lives are behind us?
No, I'm saying it's just anybody older than 36 is just way old. It's so sad.
Well, you know, you're right. But Mark is only 34.
They're very wise.
That's the sad part.
I will say that they're very wise. They're very wise men. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? I have a lot of friends that are older than me, and I enjoy these gentlemen, and I'm excited to talk to you guys more about spiritual things. especially you being Jewish, we found out some interesting things about you.
Well, Mark is Jewish. I'm more, I guess, depends. By the Catholic religion, I'm still Catholic. By the Jewish religion, I'm Jewish. I was raised in Israel. Up to town.
You have a very interesting perspective, Felix.
Well, when Felix walks out of his building, they say, "Go grab him. He's everything."
That's
you know, he's everything.
Exactly. Yeah. We can persecute him for anything. I mean, if you look at my bottom half, I'm definitely not Jewish. The top half, who knows? That was one of the things, that happened in my life. I don't know if I ever mentioned.
Well, you talk about your bottom half. I was born 10 weeks premature, and 66 years ago, I guess you could have called me a miracle baby, okay? Because 66 years ago, I wasn't supposed to survive. In fact, it wasn't until I passed a certain threshold that the doctor finally fessed up to my parents that he didn't expect that I was going to live. Okay, and the nurse said one thing that saved me was I had a very strong pair of lungs. But my joke in reference to this, and Felix's bottom half, if you will, is I didn't have my bris until I was 10 weeks old because I was only like 2 pounds 7 ounces when I was born. And my joke is that if I would have had my bris on the 8th day, I would have lost the 6 ounces, okay, and gone down to 2 pounds, Well,
we know that's not true.
Well, especially now. Now I'm lucky if I could find it.
Anyway.
But that's neither. See, that's one thing our audience knows is Felix and I love joking with each other like this, and we certainly don't mind being the brunt of our own joke. I used to tell my students this in school. I said, if half the battle is won if you can learn to laugh at yourself. And all too often people get upset because of something that someone else says about them, and it's just not worth it. It's ridiculous,
But just going back to one more point about what I was kidding about, my mother converted from Judaism to Christianity, or she's actually a Roman Catholic. So by the Christian religion, Roman Catholic, I'm Catholic. In the Jewish religion, they don't recognize the conversion, and whatever your mother was, that's what you are in the Jewish religion. So I guess, and being raised in Israel, I used to go to shul on Saturday with my friends and to church to Sunday with my father. So I had quite a interesting background. And actually, I guess that's why I'm more interested in interfaith things and trying to get people together of all faiths. And I don't oppose marriage of anybody and all that. I'm more, I'm more into interfaith than anything right now, which seems to be a rising thing that's happening. But unfortunately, it is hurting the Jewish religion quite a bit. Interfaith because.
Mommy, gotta bring them to Mom. Sorry, my kids are coming in and out here.
That's okay. How old are your children?
Yeah. So, how old am I?
No, your kids.
How old are my kids? I have 4 kids. I have an 11-year-old, I have an 8-year-old, I have a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Nice spacing of the children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely keep us on our toes, and they're good kids. We're blessed to have kids. There's a lot of pressure in Christianity. They are, yes, they are. That's what the Bible says. They're a blessing from God. Absolutely. You're a scholar. Absolutely. And that, in raising children, there's a Bible verse that says you should raise your children up the way they should go to know the Lord. And that is difficult because on one hand, there's nothing you can do for their conversion, but on the other hand, you have a lot to do with sanctifying and teaching them up and raising them up in the Word. and the pressure's on. You know, you feel